Buongiorno a tutti. Today we're tackling one of the biggest challenges for Italian learners, how to remember if a noun is masculine or feminine. Now, if you've been struggling with this, constantly second guessing yourself, please know that your struggles are totally normal and common, and you are definitely not alone. This is the reason why I'm making videos not only on Italian grammar and words, but also on learning strategies, because I strongly believe that the way we learn is as important as what we learn for long-term success. So today I'm going to share 4 simple tricks that will help you remember Italian gender much more easily and stop feeling lost every time you need to use a noun. And at the end of the video, let me know in the comments which trick do you think it will help you the most. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. Of course, when talking about gender of nouns in Italian, you need to learn the rules and the main exceptions. And that's why this topic is always the very first thing I teach in my courses. But today, I want to focus on some practical actions that you can take that go beyond just learning the rules. So here's the trick number 1. Immediately check the gender in a dictionary. This is the foundation. Whenever you encounter a new word, don't wait. Check the gender immediately. This is a habit you need to develop, especially if your native language doesn't have gender of nouns. So you need to be very intentional with this at the beginning. So how can you check and where can you check the gender of a word? Well, you just need to use a dictionary, il dizionario, and that's what they are for. But it must be a real dictionary, not Google Translate. Google Translate will not give you this information. So a real dictionary will tell you the gender of the noun as the very first information. That's how crucial and important this is for the Italian language. If you look closely in a dictionary, right after any noun, you will always see an M for maschile, masculine, or an F for femminile, feminine. All dictionaries do this. So, for example, let's have a look at the word for dog on the Collins online dictionary, which is the one I've always recommended to my beginner students. So, as you can see, here you have the Italian word for dog, which is cane, and then it tells you maschile, masculine. So it's telling you that the noun for dog is masculine. This is a piece of information that you will always find in any Italian dictionary. And if you take the habit of checking these immediately, it will just take 1 second, but it will save you from so much confusion later on. Okay, trick number 2. Numero 2. Always learn the noun with its article. Never learn a noun by itself. Always learn it together with the right article. So don't just memorize gatto for cat. Instead, memorize il gatto, or for cane, il cane. Or maybe if you have a new, more complex word like, for example, chiacchierata, memorize it as la chiacchierata. And by the way, you will find all the Italian words and phrases I'm mentioning today, plus their English translation in the PDF of this lesson. So remember to download it. I prepared that for you, and you can download it for free using the link in the description below this video, as always. Okay, so remember, always memorize the word with the right article. And if you want to take this a step further, what you can do is that you can add an adjective. So if you're not a total beginner and you want to make this a little bit more difficult but rewarding, add an adjective. So add the first adjective you can think of associated with that noun. Per esempio, let's take the word for cat, il gatto nero. So the adjective is following the same gender of the noun, and this reinforces your memorization. Il gatto nero, all masculine. Il cane bianco, the white dog, all masculine. La lunga chiacchierata, the long chat. This really helps. But why? Why does it work? Because when you learn the article together with the noun from the very beginning, they become one unit in your brain. And so when you need to use the word, the article will come out automatically. So in this way, you're training your brain to link the gender with the word from day one. Okay, trick numero 3. Use color visualization. This trick uses your visual memory to help you remember gender, and it's incredibly powerful. And here's how it works. Assign a color to each gender. Per esempio, verde per il maschile, rosso per il femminile. So there are two ways you can use this technique. First, when you're studying vocabulary, write masculine nouns in green and feminine nouns in red, or use color highlighters, gli evidenziatori in italiano, another good word to know. So you just highlight your words in green or red in your notebook. The second way you can use this technique is that you can visualize the object itself in that color in your mind. And I know this sounds strange, but really works. Per esempio, when you think of the word libro, book, imagine a green book. Un libro tutto verde, because libro is masculine and we have associated the green color verde to book. So picture a green book in your mind, un libro tutto verde. Same way for a feminine noun, for example, torta, cake. So you can imagine a red cake, a cake that's all red, una torta tutta rossa. When you memorize these words, do this visualization exercise and it will really help you remember the noun and the gender of the noun, because it creates a visual connection in your brain that makes gender much easier to recall. Ok, trucco numero 4. Trick number 4. Use active repetition. The more you use nouns with their articles in real sentences, whether you're writing or speaking, the more natural the gender becomes. Your brain starts to feel what sounds right. And as I always say, please, per favore, don't just read the words that you learn. Use them actively. So speak them out loud, write your own sentences with them, use them in real conversations. It's only through loads of repetition that gender becomes automatic. And that's how we do that in we native Italian speakers. So as I've recommended in other videos, go around your house and name everything that you see out loud. And this time, make sure to include the article and maybe an adjective too, as I explained at the beginning of this video. So, per esempio, while you're drinking your coffee in the morning, you can say, and I recommend saying that out loud, bevo il caffè caldo. When you look out of the window, oh, il cielo è limpido stamattina. When you put your clothes on, name them. La camicia bianca, i pantaloni scuri, la borsa nuova, e così via, and so forth. The more you see and use nouns in context with their articles, the more your brain will naturally remember the correct gender. It becomes second nature. So there you have it. 4 simple but powerful tricks to remember Italian gender. Check the dictionary immediately, learn the article with the noun, use color visualization, and practice with active repetition. The key, as always, is to start using these tricks right away. So pick one immediately. Pick one trick that resonates with you the most and apply it immediately this week. And now I want to hear from you. Which trick will you use first? Quale trucco userai per primo? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And noi ci vediamo al prossimo video. See you in the next video.